Good afternoon, good morning, or good evening, depending on where you are in the world. On behalf of the European Innovation Council and SME Executive Agency and the European Commission's Directorate General GROW, I'm pleased to welcome you to this information session on how to join the Enterprise Europe Network as an international network partner. Today's information session is tailored for business support organizations around the globe that are interested to become part of the Enterprise Europe network. We have an exciting agenda planned for you. We will start with a welcome by Mariela Mazeling, Head of Unit at the European Commission DG GROW, with an overview on policy objectives for the Enterprise Europe network. Then we will have Natalia Martinez Paramo, Head of Unit at EISMEA, will then offer the participant an introduce to the core services and main activities of the Enterprise Europe network. Afterwards, we will present an inspiring success story which highlights how business around the world have benefit from the network support. We are also fortunate to have two of our current international network partners with us today. Ivan Bendinger-Rothschild, Executive Director of the European American Chamber of Commerce, New York, and Marcio Antonio Magalhães of the International Relations section of the Brazilian Institute of Information in Science and Technology, will share their first-hand experiences, offering valuable insight into what it means to be part of this dynamic global network. Importantly, we will present the main cornerstones and everything you need to know for expressing your interest in joining the Enterprise Europe network. At the end of the information session, you will have the chance to ask any questions and to connect with us directly. You can easily share your question in the YouTube comments or on the WebEx chat section. So don't hold back. We are here to help. So for also technical reason, if you can mute you during the session, the info session, it will be very great. So to let the speak to the speakers. So without further delay, I'm pleased to introduce Mariela, who will share the European Commission's perspective and vision for the Enterprise Europe network. So Mariela, over to you.
Yes, many thanks, Muriel. And indeed, ladies and gentlemen, also from my side, a very warm welcome to this online session, information session about partners that are interested to join the Enterprise Europe Network as international network partners. Briefly about myself, I'm Mariela Masselink, Head of Unit for Industrial Forum Alliances and Clusters in DG GROW. That's the Director General dealing with the internal market, industry, entrepreneurship, and SMEs of the European Commission. Our unit is in charge of European support schemes for SMEs, and that also includes the Enterprise Europe Network. I will, in my brief introduction today, give you an overview in particular about the policy context for this open invitation and how that interlinks with the EEN and the international network partners. Now, looking at the overall policy context, as you might know, we have in June elected a new European Parliament, and now in December we will have a new European Commission College coming into place. So indeed a moment of transition and renewal. And we have what we call the political guidelines. They set the priorities for our work here at the EU for the next 5 years. We already see that 3 core priorities come out from these political guidelines. They center around the topics of prosperity, security, and democracy. And of course, as you can imagine, for us in DG Grow, prosperity is the North Star, so the key focus point for the coming 5 years. In this, we see also a very strong role for the Enterprise Europe network. We need the EEN to help us deliver on these promises of economic prosperity and security. And they do so through the daily support that they provide for SMEs on the ground, helping them to innovate and to grow both in the single market and beyond. Now, against this background, we have also launched a call to renew the EEN for the period July 2025 until December 2028. And I should say about the EEN that it's really, I would say, ingrained in the DNA of the EEN to work with partners all around the world. And in this sense, we also want to work with partners in like-minded countries, which we call the international network partners. Now, what are the INPs? They are self-funded partners outside the EU that cooperate with the EEN based on common interest and mutual benefit. Essentially, the partners offer market information, but also partnership support with a view to enhance business cooperation, technology transfer, and research collaboration between SMEs in different countries. I'm happy to say that currently we really have partners around the globe in Europe, in the Americas, Oceania, Asia, and Africa. And that makes us indeed the world's largest support network for SMEs with international ambitions. And we want to, of course, extend this approach and also continue to attract new partners. And that brings me to my next point, the open invitation for the INPs. Now, as you might be aware, the current contracts for the international network partners will come to an end in June next year, and we have therefore published a new open invitation for the period July next year until December 2028. And we want to interlink with you as international partners to work together on this shared mission for cross-border innovation, competitiveness, and growth. I would say that becoming an INP, it is really a win-win situation. So what is in it for you to become an international network partner? I would say 4 key points. First of all, you will join a very vibrant community and extensive network of over 3,000 business advisors. You will connect with business support organizations through participation at major business events. Thirdly, we create lasting partnerships and facilitate international business deals. And fourth, participation as an INP also means you will receive mentoring and specialized training that can help you in accessing new markets. So being part of the Enterprise Europe network is really a chance to enhance your visibility on a global scale. Now, in the course of the call today, you will receive a lot of practical information about what it means to be an international network partner, and you will also hear testimonials from current partners, as Muriel has said. And there will be time for Q&A sessions, so we really encourage you to actively participate and ask your questions. Now, before handing over to my colleagues from the agency again, I would just maybe want to highlight one key change with regard to this open invitation, and that is that there is no fixed deadline for submitting your expression of interest. So you can submit your expression at any time, but at the latest, that I should maybe highlight, by the end of December 2027, because as we said, the contractual period will end the year after. Nevertheless, I think I would say I encourage you to apply as soon as possible, essentially for 2 reasons. For partners that are currently already in the INP network, of course, we want to avoid that there is a gap between your current contract and the start of the new one. So we want to ensure continuity. And of course, secondly, for new partners, we want to ensure that you join this network and the EEN family as soon as possible. Now, with this, I would say we hope for a very large number of applications from existing partners, but of course, especially also from countries who are not yet covered from the EEN. Now, with this, a very big thank you, and I would like to hand over to Muriel from the agency ESMEA. Thank you.
Thank you so much, Mariela, for sharing these important policy priorities with us. And now I would like to hand over to Natalia, who will introduce us to the Enterprise Europe Network. She will guide us through the network's core services and activities, highlighting how we empower businesses to thrive on a global stage. Natalia, the floor is yours.
Okay, thank you, Muriel. Can you hear me? Good, good. So, as Muriel said, as Mariela, good evening, good afternoon, and good morning to all of you join us today from all continents across the globe. It's a great pleasure to welcome you to our information session on the open invitation to join the Enterprise Europe Network as an international network partner. Thank you also for taking the time to join us. I believe many of our current international network partners have decided to take part in the session. And also, I welcome numerous representatives of business support organizations around the globe interested in joining us, the Enterprise Europe Network, next year. So please allow me briefly to introduce myself. So, Natalia Martinez Paramo, head of the unit SMP, internal market and support to standardization at EISMEA, the European Innovation Council and SME Executive Agency of the European Commission. What is our main goal in our agency? To help small and medium-sized companies and startups to realize their full potential in today's global economy. And to do so, we manage a strong portfolio of EU programs in the fields of business support, EU single market, and innovation ecosystem. In total, my unit managed over 270 projects worth over 400 million euros of EU funding. So I'm delighted today to welcome you together with my colleague Mariela. And together, we are really excited to share our vision for the Enterprise Europe Network and the opportunities for business support organizations like yours. So let's start introducing what is the European Enterprise Europe Network. So I would like to offer you an overview of the activities and services of EEN. In a nutshell, the Enterprise Europe Network is the world's largest business support network for small and medium-sized enterprises and startups with international ambitions. The network brings together more than 3,000 experts and business advisors from over 500 organizations worldwide. It creates a truly global platform for trade, research, and innovation, helping businesses grow across borders. The network provides tailored services to businesses to drive innovation, to open new markets, and to promote the transition to more sustainable business models. So, how is the composition of the network? It's built on the strength of its partnered organizations, each bringing their unique expertise, their local knowledge, and commitment to support businesses. Our is composed of an extraordinary mix of organizations, including Chamber of Commerce, agencies, innovation hubs, research institutes, and more. So we are now extending an invitation to business and innovation support organizations worldwide to join our global business platform. And what we are looking for, so particularly business support organizations such as sector and industry association, export agencies, and business incubator, national or regional trade promotions organizations, business organizations and associations representing small and medium-sized enterprises and startups, national and regional development and innovation agencies, research organizations including universities and technology transfer centers. All of our network partners are deeply rooted in their regional or national innovation ecosystem with a strong connection to local business community, particularly small and medium-sized enterprises and startups. All these organizations have a clear mandate to promote innovation, support internationalization, and strengthen connections abroad, especially with Europe and the EU single market as a key target markets. Let's move now to European and worldwide outreach of the network. EEN, Enterprise Europe Network, operates across all EU member states and countries associated with the EU single market. Let me remind you that the EU single market spans major economies like Germany, France, Italy, Spain, and Poland, representing over 450 million consumers. It facilitates the free movement of goods, the free movement of services, the free movement of capital, and the free movement of people across Europe, creating unparalleled opportunities for businesses. But beyond the EU, the network also covers key markets such as Norway, Ukraine, Turkey, with which the EU has established a customs union for industrial goods. But we go further. The Enterprise Network has also extended its reach to countries where the European Union has deep and comprehensive free trade agreements or strong research and innovation collaborations. This includes, for example, the United States, Canada, Brazil, Argentina, India, Japan, South Korea, Singapore, Vietnam, UK, and many more. And by means of this open invitation, we are expanding the Enterprise Europe Network even further in the coming months, continuing to connect businesses worldwide. But maybe you're asking or thinking about what are the services of Enterprise Europe Network. So what Enterprise Europe Network provides businesses with a wide range of services designated to support their growth, innovation capacity, and transition to more sustainable business model. Our network is especially renowned for its high-quality partnering services. These services are designed to connect businesses across borders for commercial and technological. For instance, each year we organize hundreds of international matchmaking events dedicated and participate in global fairs to create new commercial opportunities for our clients. But in addition, the network offers advice to help businesses overcome barriers to innovation and internationalization. And these include one-on-one business review to identify a company's specific technology needs and support for intellectual property protection. For companies interested in research and development, we also provide advice on accessing European funding programs like Horizon Europe and facilitate bilateral R&D collaboration. Importantly, we also help companies navigate trade agreements and to benefit from reduced tariffs and regularly alignment. So to this end, we provide guidance on meeting market standard and industrial regulation. Let me now pass to the network approach. So the commitment to putting businesses first lies at the heart of our network. Our client-centric approach is all about understanding specific business needs and goals and developing solutions that address these challenges. And the aim is to build impactful long-term relationships with our clients. Through our tailor-made services, the Enterprise Europe Network offers businesses a guided path to growth. From the very first contact, we work closely with clients to define their objective and support them at various stages on their journey. With the help of agreed action plans that highlight timelines and important milestones, we ensure businesses have the roadmap they need to thrive. And one of our greatest strengths remains the hub and spoke model, where expertise and resources are pooled across the network and beyond. So each Enterprise Europe Network partner organization operates independently, yet collaborate seamlessly, combining knowledge to provide exceptional, customized services. And also, we don't stop here, but also we have a sectorial and thematic expertise of the network. Why? Because it provides businesses with unmatched access to Europe's diverse industrial ecosystem, with a deep knowledge across a wide range of sectors, from aerospace and agri-food to digital technology or renewable energy. Our experts work together to address specific client needs. This sectoral expertise ensure businesses receive the support they need. But in addition to our sectoral support, our network continuously upgrades its expertise through dedicated thematic groups. And these expert groups focus on improving business services to guide clients in areas such as research and development, innovation, internationalization, as well as the single market. By combining sector-specific knowledge and thematic expertise, the Enterprise Europe Network empowers businesses to fully tap into Europe's industrial potential. And what is the impact that we generate, the impact generated by the network? Over the past 16 years, because yes, the network is existing since 16 years, the Enterprise Europe Network has made a tremendous impact, helping small and medium-sized enterprises strengthen their market position, reduce costs, and to develop new innovative products or services. Every single day, let me repeat, every single day, the network delivers services to over 800 companies, with an impressive 90% of clients expressing satisfaction or high satisfaction with the quality of support. Also, on a daily basis, 112 businesses received in-depth tailored advisory services, while 525 benefit from guidance and training sessions. And these efforts consistently lead to success, with 5 business deals signed every single day. So that concludes my introduction to the Enterprise Europe Network. So I hope you found my summary helpful and it has sparked your curiosity about the network and the valuable services it's offered to businesses. We offer your organization the opportunity to join us, to join our network, and to extend your outreach right into the heart of the EU single market. Europe remains an important place of business for ambitious and growth-oriented enterprise and startup. As a reminder, the EU boasts a robust economic performance, with its GDP reaching around 16 trillion in 2023. This position the EU as one of the largest economy, accounting for some 17% of the global GDP. Europe is also at the forefront of world-class research and leading investment into innovation and green technology. Via the Horizon Europe program, the EU invests heavily in research and development, driving advancement in renewable energies and other disruptive technologies. And this research leadership cement the EU's role as one of the global sustainability champions. So by joining the Enterprise Europe Network, you can support your business client to benefit from these trade and innovation opportunities. So before, I'm going to stop here, but before to give the floor to Thomas, who will offer an overview of the practicalities for expressing interest, I would like to share with you a video which explains perfectly what is the EEN, the Enterprise Europe Network. Thank you very much. The video will be launched. Okay, the video will be launched in a few seconds. pasa con el sonido? No. No, stop. Without sound. Without sound, it doesn't work.
Who's sharing the video?
I'm sharing.
We guide companies towards more sustainable business models. We bring your innovative ideas.
Is it now better, the sound? Yeah, okay. Oh, sorry, I thought he was. Okay.
Is the Enterprise Europe Network. We are the world's largest support network for small and medium enterprises with international ambitions. You can reach us in more than 40 countries worldwide through our over 450 network partners. How can we help you? We offer free tailored support services for companies, startups and scale-ups. We guide companies towards more sustainable business models. We bring your innovative ideas to commercial success and build up your business resilience to future challenges such as supply chain disruptions. We enable businesses to benefit from the opportunities of the EU single market. We tailor digital solutions to your business's needs. We ensure businesses are able to access the right sources of finance and help them access international markets in Europe and beyond. We introduce companies to the right business partners and provide them with customized advice on EU rules and intellectual property tools. Thanks to our expertise, every single day, more than 835 businesses received help to innovate and grow internationally. Over 525 companies have benefited from specialized guidance and training sessions. More than 112 businesses benefit from our expert advice. And at least 5 companies entered partnership agreements. And we have a 92% satisfaction rate. Will you be the next one? The Enterprise Europe Network can help. Enterprise Europe Network. 15 years supporting businesses with international ambitions.
Okay. So thank you so much, Natalia, for sharing this with us. And now I would like to hand over to Thomas. Thomas, the floor is yours.
Thank you so much, Muriel, Mariella, and Natalia, for this introduction to the policy priorities, but also to the Enterprise Europe Network itself. I would like now to shift the focus more on the practicalities and everything you need to know to express your interest to join the Enterprise Europe Network, and to outline in my presentation, which will last around 30 minutes, the main cornerstones of this open invitation. So if you're interested in expressing your interest to join the Enterprise Europe Network as an international network partner, your main resource should be our Enterprise Europe Network website. And we have set up a web page on this open invitation, which you can find on our, as I said, on our public Enterprise Europe Network website. On this website, you will be able to download our official brochure on the open invitation, which includes a detailed terms of reference, as well as the model cooperation agreement, which we will be offering you to sign in case your expression of interest is positively evaluated. In the course of my presentation, we will also have a look at the online submission form. And also important to say for me is that in case some of your questions remain unanswered, even in the question and answer section or part of this information session at the end, you can still, of course, reach out to us via our functional mailbox, eismea-inter@ec.europa.eu. Before I start with the more practical hints and tips how to express your interest, I would like to briefly outline how the client journey and how the Enterprise Europe network operates in general. And this will help you, of course, to draft a compelling expression of interest to convince us to admit you to the Enterprise Europe network. So the client journey usually starts with a network, one of our 3,000 network advisors meeting up with a business executive, usually part of the management of the company. There will be an intake assessment carried out. And if the company is indeed ready for internationalization or climbing the innovation ladder, the network advisor will devise a concrete action plan, including several milestones with the company client. So on this infographic or on this schematic overview on our company, or rather client journey, I've indicated 3 core milestones, or sometimes we refer to it as project jargon achievements, which can be delivered for this very particular company. Let's say the Korean company actually is looking to upgrade its own product to make it more competitive on international markets. The Korean Enterprise Europe network partner would reach out to one of the European network advisors and look for a certain technology, potentially to be found in our technology database. And then this technology, with the help of the Enterprise Europe network, could be transferred or procured by the Korean company, which then has a more upgraded or a more compelling product to be sold on world market. This would be one of the typical achievements we are trying to generate for our clients. This achievement could be followed by the next milestone, another achievement. For example, now the Korean company would like to enter and sell its product on the European single market. In this case, the Korean Enterprise Europe network advisor would reach out to their European counterparts, take the Korean company to a trade fair in Europe, facilitate matchmaking meetings, or organize a dedicated trade mission for the Korean company. In this case, in this example, the Korean company managed to find a European distributor, let's say an Italian company, which will distribute the Korean product on the European market, in the EU single market. This would be yet another important milestone in the client journey. And this brings me to the third example of a typical milestone of a client journey. Now the Korean company also would like to take advantage of the improved of the reduced cost or the zero tariffs linked to the free trade agreement between the European Union and South Korea. And in this case, this milestone or achievement will be followed from a advisory service, which helps the company to benefit from these reduced costs, also related to reduced costs for regulatory alignment between the European Union, agreed between the European Union and Korea. All the client journeys end with an impact assessment. So what has actually been achieved for the company, where the objectives of the company is met. If yes, if not, this is the subject of this impact assessment. And the general objective, of course, is for the Korean company to help the Korean company to expand in a new market, to increase the turnover, and to enhance or improve or create even a new product or service that can be sold within the European market. All the entire client journey is supported and facilitated by by the support of the entire network, with the help of our sectoral experts, with the help of sometimes even several network advisors in different countries supporting the companies to internationalize and to innovate. And of course, it is facilitated by our network tools, being, for example, our technology database or our community platform to be used by the network advisors. So what kind of organizations are we actually looking for to join as international network partners for the Enterprise Europe network? Natalia kindly already outlined what kind of organizations we are looking for. there's a huge variety of different business support organizations which could join the Enterprise Europe Network, sector and industry associations, export agencies, chambers of commerce, business incubators, industrial clusters, trade promotion organization, regional development agencies, innovation agencies, research organization, universities, and so forth. It's a quite heterogeneous network, and this is actually, I believe, the actual strength of the network, that so many different organizations work together. And the type of organizations also include European bilateral chambers of commerce, for example, in third countries, European trade promotion agencies, but also the members of the European business organizations worldwide network. They are most welcome to express their interest. So all organizations should have an outstanding track record in providing services to business, should be in daily touch with businesses, they should be client-oriented, and have an expertise in providing internationalization, support and partnering services, to provide innovation services and technology transfer services, or research collaboration services, either linked to the participation in European research and innovation programs, or simply by facilitating bilateral research and development cooperation between companies worldwide. You should have an excellent outreach into the local business community. Of course, the European companies would like to meet up with your local companies being in Vietnam or in Korea and so forth. So outreach into the local business community, having access to a pool of company clients is important. And of course, all international network partners should have a sound and convincing operational and financial capacity to play an active role in the network. This is it's not only a club, an aristocratic club, it's a dynamic network of excellence where our network partners constantly contribute to helping companies to meet their targets, their business targets. So you have to bring into the game qualified advisors, experienced staff. You should have a sound national funding strategy, and probably rather or a credible business model, how you will be refinancing your participation in the Enterprise Europe Network. And on the next slides, I will get more into detail what I mean with this. In which markets are we looking for international network partners? So we welcome all expressions of interest worldwide. We will review all expressions of interest, of course. However, we have defined with the support of our partner DG GROW a number of priority countries, for example, those countries with which the European Union has established comprehensive free trade agreements, or with which the EU has concluded strategic agreements related to security or the supply of critical raw materials. And last but not least, also those countries or markets with which the European Union has established a thriving research and innovation partnership. But I would like to underline that, of course, we reserve the right not to consider expressions of interest from countries or expressions of interest which would not align with European strategic and political priorities, or are violating the foundations on which grounds the European Union has been founded. And of course, we will always review to what extent the expression of interest is likely to have an impact on local business, on European business, but also businesses in the markets which we are trying to cover. So these are a couple of criteria you have to bear in mind, for which we will, of course, review all the expressions of interests coming in from around the world. How should you express your interest? I've already mentioned there's an online submission form, and in this online submission form, you will be able to insert all the information we will need from you. But in a nutshell, you should set up a consortium of 1 to 3 organizations. It is in principle possible to set up larger consortia. Out of experience, we know, however, that the smaller and more compact the consortia are, the more likely they are to be successful, and more likely they are to be an effective international network partner. So we recommend usually rather small consortia, but exceptions are possible, but you should inform us by email beforehand, consult us by email beforehand, and then we will give you the green light. There will be also the possibility for you to set up a wider network with local cooperation partners with which you will be systematically working to provide Enterprise Europe Network services in your country. However, those organizations will not become contractual partner of the Enterprise Europe Network. You can still flag them as your local cooperation partners in your expressions of interest if you want. And of course, you should also flag or indicate other important stakeholders of your local and regional or national innovation support ecosystem. In your expression of interest, define your geographical coverage, in which areas, in which town, which regions, which federal states of your country you will be active. Indicate your preferred starting date, so not earlier than 1st of July 2025. And usually our expressions of interest are usually covering the entire contractual period, which will expire on the 31st of December 2028. But if there's a particular reason why you want not to reach this date, you could in principle also request a shorter contractual period. In your expression of interest, you should describe the implementation of the 3 main activities of international network partners, being the provision of value-added services to businesses. Here, Natalia has already explained what services are offered by the Enterprise Europe Network, which are part of the portfolio of Enterprise Europe Network services. You have to describe how you will implement those services given the local context. You should also describe activity 2. Basically, this would be a promotion and communication strategy for your Enterprise Europe Network branch in your country or region which you are looking to cover, which you are aiming to cover. And this should include what tools you will be using. For example, will you be setting up a website? Which social media channels will you be using? How will you create awareness in your own organization about the participation in the Enterprise Europe Network? And will you also involve the local EU delegation, update the local EU delegation what your activities are? So this would be a description of your promotion and communication strategy. And you would also have to add a description on what kind of contribution you will be making to the network development for capacity building and quality management. So will you be contributing to network trainings, for example? Will you be organizing webinars or contributing as a speaker for a webinar? Will you organize training sessions yourself or offer any other kind of workshops? Will you be sharing information and market intelligence via our community platform? Maybe you will also indicate your interest in being or benefiting from mentoring support free of charge, of course, from European network partners in case you would like or you could benefit from guidance to find your way into the network. We can assign an experienced European network advisor to help you with this. And of course, you should indicate also your availability to attend important network events, such as the annual conference, which usually takes place in the second half of each year and which is attended by hundreds of European network advisors, among which you could make yourself known and to get to know, start collaborating with them. You also, in your expression of interest, would have to set your performance targets. So that's an important point for which I have prepared also a separate slide. We are a proud network of advisors generating impact, genuine and concrete impact for businesses. And you will have to demonstrate that your organization is able to do that. The most important performance indicator we use in the Enterprise Europe Network are the so-called achievements. And I've listed here 3 examples. For example, in this achievement number 1, an Italian company licenses a technical solution to a Brazilian manufacturer for industrial chemical treatment. And the second achievement example would be that a Korean and a German company start a joint venture in the field of 3D printing. And the third example of an achievement would be the research cooperation between a Japanese and a French company for encryption-based cloud services for healthcare providers. So you can see these are very concrete achievements, business achievements for your clients. You have to invest, looking at the complexity, you probably would have to invest numerous man hours in order to generate such achievements for your clients. And there's always two companies benefiting. There's always the European company benefiting, but of course also your local client, your local company benefiting from those services. And if this is a service, or if this is an approach you are taking already, within your own organizations, when you provide services, you can now use the Enterprise Europe network also to expand your reach and outreach into Europe. For those performance indicators, KPIs, you have to set annual targets, how many of those achievements you will be generating or contributing to each year. You should also constantly encode them in our official achievements database. In some cases, the European network partner will take the lead and simply tag your contribution. And of course, then you will get the benefit, or the credit rather, for your contribution to this achievement. As regards how, and there's one more point actually, which I would like to make. For our international network partners, we will require that in order to generate those achievements, you always cooperate with European network partners. Taking this approach, we ensure that there's always a mutual element to achievements, so that always both sides benefit. What's in it for your organization joining the Enterprise Europe network? We already had a quick overview from Mariella, and but however, I think in order to convince your management, your director or president of your organizations for joining the Enterprise Europe network, I think you need a clear pitching deck to do so. And I've summarized I would say the 4 most important selling points for joining the Enterprise Europe network on this slide. So joining the Enterprise Europe network will allow you to collaborate with our experts to become part of a global business network with 3,000 network advisors, including sectoral specialists. It will allow you to expand your outreach right into Europe. Help your clients to partner with EU businesses and to develop cutting-edge green and industrial technologies, and of course to benefit from the sheer size of the European single market with 450 million consumers. You will have the possibility to access exclusive business events, getting privileged access to on-site and virtual business matchmaking events at major European fairs, being it such as Medicar or the European, the Mobile Phone World Congress in Barcelona, for example. Just as an example, we will organize, the Enterprise Europe Network organizes usually hundreds of such matchmaking events and trade missions every single year. And of course, you will have privileged access to these events. Being or becoming a member or being part of this Enterprise Europe network will also allow you to promote your services and your own events. You can advertise them on our platform. You can, of course, promote these events in the official events calendar of the network. Include your trade missions, the incoming trade missions you are hosting, all the events you are hosting. And the benefit here is that our European network partners, which are covering the entire European single market, entire European Union, will be able to promote these events to their local clients, which might be interested in your market. And then, of course, they will be joining your events as well and meeting with your own clients. So please allow me to take a quick sip of water before I continue with the next slide. What else you need to know? So participation in the Enterprise Europe network comes free. It does not, not really, in a way, it comes free because we don't require any membership fees. But you would have to invest or commit quite a considerable amount of resources of your own in terms of man hours to spend on networking, on training, getting your staff accustomed to our Enterprise Europe network service delivery procedures. So there is a kind of investment required from your side, but not through a membership fee. It will be possible that more than one consortium is actually covering your country or region. There is no exclusive franchise for our international network partners, so there will be could be overlapping responsibilities. This is contrary to what we are doing in Europe, where every consortium has pretty much his own region to cover, and there is no overlap of responsibilities. There's also no charging of fees. That's a very important point which I have to make. European and international network partners, they engage if they have company clients which are interested in each other's respective markets. So there's always there always has to be, of course, interest from the company side on both sides, so that both network partners, the international one and the European, they engage with each other. And we do that and we collaborate without charging each other fees. There's an exception. For example, it will be possible to levy moderate registration fees for matchmaking events at major local fairs. I think this is common practice also within Europe, but you cannot charge a European network partner or a European company money or a fee for answering a question, for example. There's no specific cutoff dates or deadlines for expressing your interest. As Mariella said, don't submit your interest though. You should express your interest at least 12 months before the end of the contractual period. And so the last, in principle, opportunity for you to express interest should be the 31st of December in 2027. How will we review your expression of interest? That's quite important to know for yourself. We will enter into an open dialogue with our international network partners, and we will discuss with you. First of all, we will review your expression of interest, and okay. Yeah, so we will review your expression of interest based on the operational capacity and financial capacity which you have demonstrated in this expression of interest, which you have described in detail in your online submission form, how you present your service portfolio, how we'll adapt it to the local context and to the typical Enterprise Europe network service requirements. We will have a look at the funding you have available and or the business model you're proposing. So very often, and let me repeat that again, very often our international network partners, they benefit from financial support from their national policymakers. So the national funding authorities have actually identified the Enterprise Europe network as an important platform that strengthen and boast their own innovation and internationalization strategy. So many of our international network partners actually receive national financial support. If this is not possible, you would have to describe a credible business model. Of course, take into account that you're not charging, that you shouldn't charge fees from European network partners or European companies, but of course, there is potentially a possibility to charge your own local clients for technology scouting services or any other kinds of services you could be delivering on in the framework or under the umbrella of the Enterprise Europe network. There's also a review of the technical capacity of your staff that you have proposed to participate in the network. We will have a look at the summaries of the CVs of those staff members, and also have a look at the LinkedIn profile in case this is available. We'll analyze the description of the network activities and services, how you describe it, and verify whether or not the expression of interest is likely or not likely to generate any impact on businesses in your region, in your country, and also on European businesses. And we might invite you actually, in case we have further questions, to an online interview and address those questions then with you directly. And of course, we would take the opportunity also then to meet the team you have proposed to implement the Enterprise Europe Network in your country. So everything you need to know in a nutshell. And I will go through this very quickly because we are running out of time for my agenda point, and also we have to quickly go through the online submission form. At least this is my plan. So what you need to know is to get started, of course, read our brochure, including the terms of reference and the model cooperation agreement for the open invitation. This gives you already a quite sound overview on what we expect from you. Pitch the benefits of participating in the network to your executive management. Of course, you need to convince your decision makers in the organizations, your directors and presidents, to take part in the network. You can use this presentation maybe as your pitching deck to convince them. Identify potential partners in your region and countries. It's very unlikely that your organization can provide all services we are hoping to get from international network partners alone. Importantly, you also have to get in touch with the local EU delegation, which is basically the EU embassy in your country. And you should request a letter of support. The EU delegation is usually helping us to identify the most suitable partners in each country. It would also make sense if you consult your national policymakers to see if there is financial support available. If this is not the case, you will have to develop a credible business model, which you have to describe in your expression of interest. Describe how you will implement the network activities and services, and submit those submit this description then via the online form. Potentially get ready to meet us online. We might invite you if the expression of interest doesn't leave any questions unanswered on our side, then we will of course not invite you, but it could be very likely that we want to meet with you and to see you. And if your expression of interest is evaluated positively or reviewed positively, then you will have to sign, or we will offer you to sign a cooperation agreement for the duration of maximum 3.5 years. So this brings me to the end of my slide presentation. And what I suggest now is that I will go through the online submission form, not in detail, but I believe it is quite self-explanatory. Let's have a look. Yes, I see the timekeeper on my left-hand side is already nervous. We still have 1 minute on the watch for my agenda point, and I think it would make sense maybe to go through together through the online submission form, not in detail as I mentioned. So you start off with an executive summary on the purpose, why you want to express interest, the reasons behind your intention, the overall objective and immediate priorities of your consortium for the coming 3.5 years. Add the administrative information and the name of your consortium, for example, Enterprise Europe Network Singapore, if you're covering only a certain region. If you're only covering a certain region, include also a geographical marker. For example, Enterprise Europe Network West Canada would be an example. You indicate the duration you would like to have for your cooperation agreement, and then you list the organizations which will become part of the consortium name, the organization name, town, maybe a short description, which we will then publish on the public website, and indicate also who is the legal representative, the director / president of your organization, and indicate an operational contact person. And then simply, if there's more than one person, indicate more than one organization, indicate yes here, and then you can add a second and a third organization. If this is not possible or not necessary, then keep it on no. You can here describe your wider consortium, those organizations with which you would like to cooperate systematically, but which will not become contractual partners of the Enterprise Europe network. If you're receiving support, you can also, as an optional possibility, indicate your national policymakers and describe what kind of support you're receiving, indicate who you were in touch with at the local EU delegation, and here's the opportunity for you to upload the letter of support. Describe your geographical coverage, and also a general overview on the national or regional innovation business support ecosystem and major other stakeholders. And the scope of your expression of interest should be indicated here, including main target groups, most likely SMEs, small and medium-sized enterprises, and startups. Indicate any complementarities with other national initiatives, internationalization initiatives, innovation initiatives, or of your own organization. And you can indicate also if your country is associated to specific bilateral research programs. If you have any innovative elements you would like to indicate, you can tell us about them here. Will you be using AI tools potentially, or do you have any ideas for new types of events which could be organized under the umbrella of the Enterprise Europe network? Here you can impress us and indicate what you have in mind. This section is meant for the consortium management, the consortium competences, how you divide roles, and here I would like to underline that this is a quite important section here, the financing for the participation of the Enterprise Europe network, because here you have to demonstrate a very credible business model to convince us that you're able to refinance your activities in the Enterprise Europe network. Here's a staff list of the persons you would like to assign to the network. You should list minimum 3, maximum 5. Later on, you can, of course, add many more to the project implementation, but we should start off with a relatively short list of staff you would like to have to work on the project. The section, the middle section of the form indicates the activities. As I have mentioned, there are 3 types of activities: provision of added value services, and here you should describe what services you're offering and how you're implementing them, being advisory or partnering services. It should be yes, no, and then a short description how you mean to implement those services. In the section promotion of the network and communication, you should outline your communication strategy and promotion strategy. It's a descriptive section. However, there's also the possibility to simply click yes or no, whether you're planning to set up a website or no. So this gives us a quite quick and comprehensive and concise overview, I would say, on what you have in mind. And last but not least, you have the section on network development. Let us know how you're planning to contribute to quality within the network, contributing to trainings, attending the annual conferences, and so forth. And we are coming to the end of the online form, where you have to indicate the performance indicators. Let us know about the targets you have for the achievements. That's the most important performance indicators. And then you can also give us your estimates for the number of unique network clients you will have in the client journey, the number of events you will be supporting or contributing to. And there's also a possibility to add some additional information and to upload any other documents you would like to upload. And then you simply click on submit. So this was rather a run through the online submission form. I hope it was not too quick. We will have the possibility to answer I will have the possibility to answer your questions at the end of the session. But for now, I would like to give the floor back to Muriel.
Yes, thank you, Thomas. This closes the agenda point on everything you have to know for preparing your expression of interest. And if you have any practical questions, you should put them forward to us at the end of this information session. Now, I would like to put the spotlight on Mattia, who will be presenting an impressive success story generated by the Enterprise Europe Network for a Danish and a Korean company. Mattia, please let us know more about this interesting research and development collaboration. Mattia, the floor is yours.
All right. Thank you very much, Muriel. So good morning, everyone, or maybe afternoon, evening, or good night even. So I'm Mattia Simone Sargentino, and I oversee the Enterprise Europe Network communication activities here in EISMEA. And I'm here today to actually show you the strength of our network across borders and the achievements that you could also be contributing to if you join us. So, and I think that there is no better way than with a success story. So the story that I will show you today highlights the true power of global collaboration through the Enterprise Europe Network. Now, picture this. Once upon a time, a young Danish tech company named Sternula embarks on a mission to provide secure, satellite-based connectivity for maritime industries worldwide. However, despite their groundbreaking technology, Sternula faced a key challenge, which was finding international partners to expand and apply their cutting-edge technology to real-world maritime communications. And this is where the Enterprise Europe Network stepped in, or, as we like to say, where #EEN can help. So in March 2022, one of our network advisors began working closely with Sternula, identifying potential global partnerships. And thanks to this targeted guidance, the company gained access to essential resources, including introductions to new partners, specialized events, webinars, and invaluable knowledge. Later that year, an exciting opportunity appeared from across the globe. In fact, through the network Korean partners, a connection was made with HarborMax, which is a South Korean company specializing in maritime communications. And they were looking for a partner themselves for an ambitious Eurostars project on maritime broadband communications. So thanks to the Enterprise Europe Network and their dedication and persistence, the two companies joined forces, and they were also joined by another Danish company called Dacoma. And together, they managed to secure the Eurostars grant, which amounted to over 900,000 euros, so almost $1 million, with a specific amount of 250,000 going specifically to Sternula. So this collaboration, though, was about funding. It was about really laying the foundation for long-term partnerships for innovation. And thanks to this collaboration, Sternula was even able to expand their R&D team. And as a result, now they're better positioned to further expand and influence and impact the maritime sectors. So now, enough of me. I would say, let's take a look at our video so that you can hear even more about the network's relentless drive to help companies grow beyond borders. So if my colleagues want to share the video, thank you.
The Korean SME HarborMax was looking for a partner for a Eurostars project. The aim was to develop a maritime digital twin solution to get data from ships to shore as efficiently as possible. I contacted the Danish satellite developer Sternula, and the project idea matched perfectly with the scope of their business. Supported by EEN Korea, meetings were arranged. The Danish company Dacoma joined the partnership, and Sternula agreed to lead the Marcosat project, receiving approximately €1 million in joint funding.
Hi, HarborMax is in Busan, South Korea. We've been developing long-range terrestrial radio system and marine contents. We met Sternula to complete them. With Sternula, we'll do the key role for the coming marine digital twin and will give another new tool for all third-party solution providers that was not available before.
Stanula is the world's first commercial provider of affordable, secure and global connectivity for the maritime industry using the new AIS 2.0 standard. AIS 2.0 technology enables digital data transfer between the ship and the services on land, a way to communicate faster and cheaper.
The McCosta project is very important for Stanula. It develops our satellite control algorithms and networking, and it has already resulted in one new job creation, and we expect more in the coming years.
So as you can see, the Enterprise Europe Network, it's the world's largest business support network for a reason. And so we look forward to welcoming you, as many of you as possible, in our family. So thank you very much. And I will leave the floor back to Muriel.
Sorry. So thank you, Mattia. And now it's the time to give the word to our network partners. We are honored to have two of our estimate international network partners with us today. So we have Yvonne Bendinger Rothschild from, as I said, the European American Chamber of Commerce, New York, and Marcio Antonio Magalhães from the Brazilian Institute of Information in Science and Technology. They will share their experiences, highlight why their organizations joined, and describe the benefits the Enterprise Europe Network brings to their local business clients. So, Yvonne, I hand over to you.
Thank you, Muriel. Good to see you. Hello, everyone. My name is Yvonne Bendinger Rothschild, and as Muriel said, I'm the executive director of the EACC in New York. And what do we do? We connect Europeans with Americans and help them do business on either side of the Atlantic. So we help companies expand their business activities either to the US or for European companies, or we help American companies expand their business activities to Europe. So, I mean, saying that, it's strikingly obvious why we need to be a member of the EEN. Nobody operates in a vacuum. With a network like the EEN, we can facilitate these introductions and connections much more effectively. And because we can reach out to a larger network. We have our own chapters in Europe. As a matter of fact, we grew out of the French-American Chamber of Commerce in Paris and converted from the FACC into a European-American Chamber of Commerce. And we believe that the EEN network in particular, as it brings together chambers of commerce, FDA advisor and research organization, is an excellent platform for us to tap into, not only for us, but also for our members. I just had a conversation yesterday with one of our members who is putting together an alliance in the aerospace and defense sector. And he's bringing together European companies and American companies who are building components to compete with the big shots who are building an entire aircraft themselves or an entire rocket themselves, because he believes that, there are experts on both sides that need both sides of the Atlantic in this case, who need the components of the other, of a European company or an American company. And he's creating an alliance to bid alongside with the big shots. So this is a prime example for us to take advantage of the EEN network, because my next call is going to be to the sector group, aerospace and defense, And I'm going to have a conversation with them, how we can help my member in this case, expand his network and reach out to companies. He's looking specifically for scale-up companies and the likes. And he's not moving production. The plan there is to leave production and expertise where it is right now, that be either in Europe or in the US. So this is the perfect example for how we can make a platform like the European Enterprise Network work. And we also believe that the fact that the organizations that we deal with on the other sides, like the Chambers of Commerce that we met at the annual conference, and other organizations, research organizations, universities, etc., they're the first line of contact for the SMEs with expansion plans. So it only makes sense for us to be part of that network. On the other hand, looking at what we bring to the table, our EEN partners need vetted contacts on the other side. And as you just heard from Thomas, the process of applying for to be an international partner is quite, I mean, I don't want to say onerous, but it is an in-depth evaluation. I applied for it God, Thomas, I don't remember how, I think it's 2 years ago. And we're a partner for 2 years, or coming on 2 years. And the first application was denied. So this is not not everybody is accepted, let me put it like this, which I think is a good thing. As a transatlantic connector, as I said earlier, it behooves us to be part of the EEN. It only makes sense to be part of the network. And also, like I just outlined with my example of this aerospace project that we're working on, EEN offers value in both directions. It helps us help our members, and it helps, it's an opportunity for us to, it's kind of like a public service, is the way I'm looking at it, to showcase that we are part of something bigger. And it's I look at it also as a stamp of approval to be considered a valuable partner for a platform that was created by the European Commission. And it is our raison d'etre to facilitate transatlantic connections. And it is essential for us to have a solid network on the other side. In our case, that is Europe. Because I'm I'm running a US chapter. And what I've found in the now almost 2 years of working as an EEN partner is really an in-depth market knowledge and solid connections on that the EEN platform offers. It takes a little bit of getting used to navigate the platform, but once you find your way around, and there's a lot of help, we have deployed a mentor, and it has been absolutely an amazing experience to work with a mentor, and then the technical support staff has been extremely helpful. So I only have the best things to say. We actually also started a pilot program on our side where we put some of our members as clients into the EEN platform. We selected members that have general offerings that we identified in the first 1.5 years of our relationship. They offer market entry services in certain sectors, and we added them as clients. We asked them to search the database and then identify projects where they think they can assist, and then we connect them to these opportunities on the other side. So I will be happy to report back on that at the next meeting. We also ask our members to help educate the EEN partners and to some degree their clients. We developed a series of specialty workshops and, on various topics, what you need to know to enter the US market, what you need to know about customs. You can find those workshops on the EEN YouTube channel. And because we believe it's an opportunity for us to help companies to get as prepared as they can be for this US market entry in our case. And again, I said it's a two-way street. It also helps raise the EACC's profile and among European companies. And we are a consortium. So the consortium currently consists of EACC New York, EACC Texas, and the Carolinas. And we're working on adding additional consortium partners to the group. In terms of the resources that it takes to take an active role in the EEN, and the essential sentence in this, the essential word in this sentence is an active role. If you can't take an active role in the EEN network, don't participate. You have to be active, and it's essential to make a commitment to the platform and to the network and to be an active partner. Otherwise, if you're just standing around not doing much, you're not only wasting your own time, but you're also wasting other people's time on reaching out to you and don't get any feedback. I mean, I think it's almost an insult if you're not replying. We have increased. I meant to look this up before. We get a lot of inquiries from the EEN network, in addition to the inquiries that we initiate ourselves. And I think if you're invited to be an international partner, it behooves you to actually actively participate. With that said, we have set aside a significant number of staff hours to address incoming inquiries. And this is not a side gig. You need to have the staff. We have three full-time staff members here in New York, and I think that is the minimum for entry from what Thomas just said. And I wish I had more for a variety of reasons, but organizations who become a partner should be willing and able to set aside time and knowledgeable staff for regular check-ins into the system, to reply to inquiries, and also to correspond with your counterparts in Europe. We have ongoing conversations with the various chambers of commerce, even if we're not working directly on a project or on a client with them. We check in, how you're doing, what's going on, is there anything we can help? And I think it's very essential. What's also important, the system has a tracking mechanism, but we have developed our own tracking. And I think, again, this is an essential part, because you need to keep tab of all the inquiries that are coming on. And like I said, there are plenty of them. But you also want to be effective in your correspondence with the clients that you're trying to help, but also with their counterparts, and have an effective dialogue. And without a proper tracking system, you're not going to be able to do that. In terms of making the business case, we are not state funded. We are a member-based organization. So we need to have members who pay a membership fee in order to pay our salaries and rent and everything else. So for us, we were able to join the EEN because we have a solid foundation. And like I said, we have full-time staff. A lot of chambers of commerce in the US do not have full-time staff. They are run by volunteers as a volunteer organization. For them, it might be more difficult to be part of this. But nevertheless, we need to be able to generate member revenue and revenue for our members to be able to continue our work. which is sometimes a little bit tricky because a lot of clients that work mostly, or for now, mostly with their European chambers of commerce, they get a lot of free services. And certain services like market research or others, they are paid service in the United States. They're companies who sell the service, and people have to understand that, especially if it's beyond, just some general information, which we obviously are happy to provide free of charge. There are certain more in-depth help, getting an FDA approval and things like that. I mean, you pay for that in Europe as well. But there's certain services that, come with a fee attached. And I think it's a general message that we're sending to companies who are looking to expand. You need to have a budget set aside from what you're doing with us as international partners. It is essential that you put, like we do, staff behind it and funding behind your international expansion. But overall, it's been a very good experience for us. I can absolutely encourage companies to get involved. It's very much worth your while. And we encourage you to join us as a partner.
Thank you, Yvonne. Thank you for sharing with us these very interesting experiences, and I think it will be very add value, also a valued for maybe our future international network partner who wants to join us in this global market. So now I will let the floor to Marcio. The floor is yours.
Thank you very much so much. Thank you, Thomas, and thank you, Natalia, for the opportunity to share our experience here in Brazil. So I will request so much to help me out.
Sorry, Marcio, we didn't hear you.
Sorry, we can't hear you.
But it is very.
Sorry. Yeah, just a second. Just a second.
You seem to be very far away from the microphone. Well, okay.
We can't hear you. Sorry.
He will come back.
Yeah, Marcio will be back in a couple of seconds, I'm sure. Otherwise, we have to proceed to the question and answer section. Let's give Marcio a few more seconds.
Here is. So Marcio, we are waiting for you.
Yes, I'm sorry. I think I have to be close to the. Can you listen to me now? Now it's
yes,
okay?
It's okay.
All right, so I'll be very close to you guys. I'm sorry.
It's better now.
Because I have to be close to the camera. So, if you can please open the presentation and I can go from here. Just let me get my notes back and then we can start. I'm terribly sorry.
Marcio, I will be running the slides in the background, okay?
Okay, thank you. It's good to go to that then, please.
Since we are quite late, Marcia, maybe you can do it in 5 to 10 minutes. Is this possible?
I'm just going to tell about our experience as an EEN international network partner. And some of the slides I'll just go over, and then we don't have to talk about this. And I think that everyone is going to get the slides. And if someone has any question, you can contact me, and I can tell you about what is going on. All right? I hope you can see me. I think you can see me very close now.
Yeah,
so
yeah,
it's
we can
like,
see.
Thomas, you can go over this, you know. Thank you. Yeah, the next one, please. Eu tô perto da câmera, então yeah, I have to be close to the camera. Yeah, all right, they can hear me. Eles podem me ouvir.
Só quero assim, vamos botar ela mais para perto aqui, que aí você fica mais enquadrado.
Tá.
Aí você senta aí.
All right. Tá bom.
E você pode conversar mais tranquilo. Não, mas já está aqui, já é só me mexer.
All right. Just introduce myself. My name is Márcio Canedo. So I am the International Director of EBICT. Here is the Brazilian Institute of Information and Science and Technology. And we are the coordinators of Brazilian Consortium. And what we do, we are part of the government. We are part of the Ministry of Science, Technology and Innovations of Brazil. So we are from the federal government. But we are the coordinators of a consortium that we have private and public sector members. So, Thomas, next one, please. Yeah, you can go ahead next. Just to show you how we work here in our consortium, maybe next slide too. Yeah, so as I was telling you, that's the one, thank you. This is the consortium. We are a coordinator, and we have two co-partners, as a suggestion from the last call. So we have one association of information technology industries in Brazil. Is the largest association in Brazil, more than 5,000 members in this association. And we also have as a co-partner another program from the EU that is in REACH. There is a program for innovation hubs. So we are supported not only by ISMEA, but we are also supported by other Directorate General from the EU. We have the members, as you can see, we have associations, we have important Brazilian decision makers for the export and import sector. We have the Brazilian Company for Innovation in Industry. We have the organization Internship Women, and we have the Young Exporter Institute. So we have a very broad membership in our consortium. And this was created in 2020 for that specific call from 4 years ago. But we are participating in since 2013. First with the Ministry of Industry Development and the National Confederation of Industries, and EBICT from the very beginning. From the very beginning, we were responsible for the innovation side of the EEN, and CNI was responsible for the market outreach. And now we are all together doing the same thing with this membership. And we have the support of more than 10 institutions now. So we have a list of 10 stakeholders. And CNI, the National Confederation of Industries, is back as a stakeholder. And we have also foundations, universities, and private institutes and private associations of international trade, of international innovation that are part of our stakeholder group. So next, Thomas, please. This is one that I'm going to go through this, Thomas. We don't need to talk about this. I was just going to tell you that how important is the size of the Brazilian economy and how we work and this specific environment. But I believe that most of you know about the Brazilian economy. We are the 9th largest economy in the world, going to the 8th boost now. So it's a very diverse economy, and with a lot of opportunities for European companies to invest here. So as a consortium, we have a lot of work to cover all the sectors from the Brazilian economy and everything that all the opportunities that we can present to the European companies and to other international network partners that we are working very closely. For example, Colombia and India, that we work very closely with them, and Switzerland as an example. So the next slide, please, Thomas. The one with the one that was before. The next one, please. So how, as a consortium, what we do here, what we do for our clients. Actually, last year, Thomas and Natalia and Muriel, I believe we were all together in Bilbao for the annual conference, and I made a presentation how we work. So what we do what we call the path for internationalization for the Brazilian SMEs. And focusing in a digital platform like EEN, how we can use a tool like EEN to promote our interests and to bring investors to Brazil. So it's the same, it's a two-way commitment, as Yvonne just said. So we are doing this also here in Brazil. So we selected, as I told you, because of all this huge market that we have in Brazil, we selected here the major sectors that we tackle in order to get the best from everything in Brazil that we can offer to the European companies and that we can offer to the Brazilian companies in the European market. So these are the 8 main sectors for us: agri-food, renewable energy, green economy, biotechnology, textiles, machinery for heavy industry and agri-sector, aerospace and defense, and women entrepreneurship. So we work very closely with our colleagues in Europe. As you now understand, the ones that are here willing to participate in the network, we work very closely with our colleagues in Europe. So this is something that is very good from the network, that we create this very close relationship with our colleagues back in the north of EEN in Europe. Okay, next, Thomas, please. And yes, in the case of Brazil, you have to tell you that we had to adapt a little bit EEN for Brazil. I mean, not the system itself, but how to promote EEN in Brazil. So we had to develop a communication system that actually was one of the requirements, and still one of the requirements, just like Thomas just introduced to us. So we developed this communication to go every single event that we can go in Brazil. We have 10 members, so each member goes with an event to present EEN, how we work and how the Brazilian SMEs can use EEN in order to get their required results for international trade. The same thing with the universities, the same thing with innovation institutions. We do these meetings and presentations. Actually, I just got back from 3 weeks of doing that after Budapest, and now I'm going next week. I'm going to another round of presentations around Brazil. Brazil is a continental country, as you know, so it's not that easy to go from here to there. These are some numbers that just to show to you how we work and what we do. So this year, actually, we have more than 1,500 B2B meetings facilitated through EEN in Brazil. And we have more than 200 now expressions of interest. These numbers are from last year. And I can't tell you how many answers we get answered from the EU, from our colleagues from the EU, in order to grasp a little bit more about how the Brazilian market works. So this is something that I do every day, more than 3 times a day, asking answering emails from our colleagues in Europe, and I do that like this is my job now as the coordinator of EEN. So it's a great opportunity to gather all this information. That's why we are the coordinators, because we're technology and scientific information institute. So we can show what we do here in Brazil and how we can help our friends in Europe. Next, please, Thomas. Yes, this is just to show to the candidates how we showed to ESMEA what we would do, and we have been doing that for the last 4 years. So this is something that we showed what is the network effect for Brazilian SMEs. What we do, how can we assist them, and how we can count with the support of EEN in Europe. So this is something that it was very important to show to our colleagues at ESMEA how we can do that with such a huge country like Brazil, with a market so diverse, with a lot of opportunities, but we can get lost with all this information. So the first thing to do was how to organize this information, to show it, to present that to our Brazilian SMEs, and how to show Brazil, to sell Brazil to our European companies and all the opportunities that we have here. So we've been doing that very constantly for the last 4 years. Next, Thomas, please. And this is the last one, so the two last ones, so I'll go very quickly about this. These are the main points that we considered and that we continue to consider for the EEN Brazil Consortium. So all these points, you can read that. I'm not going to go all over them, and you can get the information with the presentation later. It's to connect and to promote within the EU our interests, and in Brazil to promote the European interests for the SMEs, from the universities, from the innovation institutes, and so on and so forth. As you know, as you all know, I think that we have some colleagues from South America, from the Americas here. Brazil, Argentina, Chile, and Uruguay. We are actually, it's Mercosur, as you know, and we are working with our trade agreement with Europe. So this is something that probably is going to be signed for next year. We have some problems with some specific situations. I don't know if you're following this, but I believe for next year we are going to have this agreement signed. But right now, what we do what we can do within this situation here in Brazil and in Chile and Argentina, and our colleagues also from Colombia. So we all work together here to strengthen our region for EEN and how to promote our trade missions and to promote our work here and how to show that EEN is this important tool. Next one, Thomas, please. And the next one actually is a continuation of this. So we can go to the next one, please, Thomas. And then just to give you an example of an important service that is provided by ESMEA for us, International Network Partners. And Yvonne mentioned that in her presentation. So we have the mentorship program, and the mentorship program is amazing. So we have these mentors that they assist us in various forms. And this is absolutely like something that I have to thank ESMEA and our colleagues in Brussels for promoting this service. This tool, specific tool for us. So in our case, we have two mentors. One mentor is from Italy, from Turin, Federica Leonetti, and the other mentor is from Action in Barcelona, Albuquerque, and we work very close together. We just had meetings in Budapest, and we decided what we are going to do for next year together. and a lot of things that we are promoting. With Federica, we work very closely in the textile sector as well, promoting some interests and participate in trade events in Europe, all over Europe with Federica. The same with Alba in the innovation side and all the calls that we have with the to promote innovation in industry among Brazilian and European companies. And the next one, Thomas, I think is the last one. It's just like my contacts that you guys are more than welcome to contact me if you want to know more about our consortium, how it works, and how we presented our last proposal to ESMEA. And actually, now we're working in our present proposal now. So this is something that we are doing, and hopefully for the next month, we are already going to send our proposal to ESMEA for the evaluation of them. So EN is very important for us. This is the point. Brazil is a huge market and can use a digital platform for sure. And now the Brazilians, they understand what we do. And I think that we are very well known now in Brazil and able to show our strength and how EN is key for the internationalization of small and mid-sized companies through innovation, participation in events, to partnership agreements. Just an example, we just finished, we just had in the last month 3 partnership agreements signed between German and Brazilian companies, Germany, Denmark, and Sweden. 3 agreements, and they are very impressive. One is for innovation, and we are working with Switzerland for next year. Probably we're going to have some partnerships agreement in the innovation side as well with Spain, specifically País Vasco and Catalonia. So this is all, and I thank you again for giving us the opportunity to show how we work and how well we are supported by Brussels, by ESMEA, by Thomas and Muriel and Natalia and Idaida and Eric and everyone else. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Marcio, and thank you for this inspiring experience that you share with us, and also to be a very good ambassador to promote the benefits to be an EEN international network partner. Thank you, Marcio.
Thank you. Thank you.
Sorry, I was muted. So thank you for your attention so far. And we have covered a lot of ground already. And now it is time to hear from you. We are ready to answer any question you have about our open invitation or anything else that you have in mind. Thomas, you can share the question.
Yes, thank you so much, Muriel. And so this is now the opportunity for all of you to reach out if you have any practical questions on how to express your interest to join. The question should be relevant. It's not a forum to discuss any trade disputes. So reading through the chat section at the moment. So please post a question relevant to how to express your interest, and then we can give you all the information you need. If you don't want to post a question now, you can also drop us an email. There was one question I've recognized in the chat related to how organizations can apply or should apply. For example, can a single organization express interest to join the Enterprise Europe Network as international network partner? In principle, yes, but this single organization would have to demonstrate that it could implement all activities and services related to the Enterprise Europe Network. If you can do that, you can apply in principle alone. And we have several single consortium expressions of interest usually, and many of them are then actually accepted or positively reviewed. So in principle, yes, we recommend to have up to 3 organizations per consortium, but you can also go beyond upon approval by my executive agency. Are there any further questions? I'm seeing that now the questions are coming in. Can a company operating in multiple companies apply for 2 countries? This question I don't fully understand, but usually an expression of interest should be expressed for a region, a cohesive region and or country or market. So there's nothing against that actually in the open invitation to stop you to cover 2 countries, but I would also say that it's probably better to focus on a specific region or country rather than including multiple countries. That also answers the next question. Can a consortium be a mix of organizations from different countries? We have, in principle, there's no objection to that. This is in principle possible. For further clarifications, I recommend you to contact me by email, and we can discuss together whether or not it makes sense. We had such applications or expressions of interest in the past, and we would be willing to consider it, but please get in touch with us first before expressing your interest for several countries or multiple countries. Absolutely. For the next question, do all countries apply with the same deadline? Are there different deadlines? There are actually no deadlines whatsoever, no cutoff dates. The only deadline you have to mind is that you should express your interest 12 months before the end of the contractual period. The contractual period will end on the 31st of December 2025. So your expression of interest should be entering our inbox the 31st of December 2027 at the very latest. And regarding the next question, is it possible to share the PowerPoint presentation from Thomas? Absolutely. First of all, I have to say that, of course, we will make this recording of this info session available on our web page for the open invitation on the Public Enterprise Europe Network website. So you can, of course, go through the slides there, but I will also make the slides available on the web page itself for the open invitation in a PDF format. So you will be able to download the slide presentations from there. So,
Thomas.
Yes.
If I may, it's Christos. Yes.
Yes.
There was a question by a colleague from EAS earlier. Maybe you have not seen it yet. He was asking about how it's better, the whole process is better linked to the global gateway.
But you can answer, Christophe, no problem.
Yeah, okay. So that's a good question. I would say that for us, IMPs can serve as overall as vehicles for advancing the global gateway's strategic goals. Maybe you've heard, colleague from my head of unit, Marielle, at her welcome speech, that this is a process based on common interest and mutual benefit. And indeed, for IMPs, there is a lot to gain from the EEN, but also the EEN and our EEN partners are gaining invaluable market information, technology transfer, market intelligence, and so on and so forth. So trying to reply to this question, which is quite complicated, of course, for such an info session, I would say that mainly it's the knowledge exchange, because IMPs facilitate knowledge transfer and innovation a lot, which is a key component for the global gateway. Plus, they enhance connectivity, which is another very important element in the global gateway because it focuses on fostering trusted connections globally. And not to mention, of course, the market expansion. So there is a huge expansion to market access, and IMPs contribute a lot to that. I hope this kind of summarizes some, let's say, practical ways of how we can better link this to the global gateway.
Thank you, Christos. Thomas, you take the next question.
Maybe just to complement Christoph's words, the Enterprise Europe Network usually encourages the cooperation with other European projects and programs, and we are doing this very successfully. And many other European projects are actually integrated into the Enterprise Europe Network itself. But so we are cooperating very successfully with a wealth of other European SME and innovation support programs and projects. Yeah. We have one more question concerning a business accelerator getting supported by the local government in Texas. They seem to have a different business model and how this would work if they are actually targeting several countries as well. And how they could maybe fit into the Enterprise Europe Network, even though they are charging fees to companies. For our international network partners, you would have to describe, as I've mentioned already, a workable business model. And as regards the charging of fees from European companies, there's a limited possibility to do that. Maybe for events you're organizing or a very specialized events you're organizing, if you levy a moderate registration fee, that would be possible for matchmaking events. But as regards the American companies, you're really free to do whatever you want, depending what the market value of such a fee would be. You could charge them for technology services or scouting services, and that's really up to you. But regarding the charging of European network partners and European companies, there are limits, and I recommend you to read through our cooperation agreement to find out more on that, or you simply contact me by email and we can walk through your business model to see whether or not it fits into the Enterprise Europe network.
Absolutely. Thank you, Thomas. We'll do that.
Yeah. Okay, super. The next question would be, can we predict the number of achievements, because we would be surfing from the unknown, given at this stage? Well, I've given you a couple of examples, and you have seen that these are quite complex achievements to be generated following services provided by Enterprise Europe Network partners. So you should be rather cautious, not setting the figures or the targets too high, but it's really depending on the capacity of your organization to generate such achievements and business deals for your clients. You can be aspirational, but don't overdo. Don't give us an excessive number of 300 achievements. But if you would only offer to generate or contribute to the generation of 3 or 4 achievements, that would probably be too little. Also taking into account, of course, your region and your access to local businesses. So that's also, of course, something you need to take into consideration when you propose targets for achievements.
Thomas, there was also
Yes.
an earlier question by a colleague called Claudia on regenerative agriculture. I don't know if you see it, but I can respond. It's
okay.
Yeah.
Good. Yeah. Please go ahead.
So I see that the complications in this case, because it's a transatlantic company, can be briefly like regulatory variations. I mean, between the EU and the US, for example, on intellectual property or whatever, and access to finance, but maybe. But I believe earlier Natalia, head of unit in ISMEA, briefly mentioned the sectoral groups of the EEN, and these sectoral groups are aligned with what we call industrial ecosystems. And there is a particular one which happens to be one of the most populated, if not the most populated in the EEN, which is about agri-food. So there are ways to to get in touch with colleagues who are already EEN partners and get solutions to the complications you have in mind. Plus, thematically, we have an internationalization group. Earlier, we heard Yvonne from the US. She and her colleagues, the team in the US, had a marvelous series of webinars. They were very hands-on. on very particular topics and complications of how to overrun them when you want to access the US. So there are several opportunities within the network to discuss, such considerations, Claudia. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Christos, for these explanations. And we are approaching the end of this information session. We have taken note of all the questions, and there's just another question which came in. Should we answer it as well? I think we have time for that. There will be no automatic log off. It's on WebEx.
The last one.
Yeah, that's the last question. The remaining question we will answer in the FAQ, frequently asked question document, which we will upload to our web page for the open invitation. So there's a question: do you have a member from Africa? So far we don't, and well, we have Tunisia so far, but not a member from Africa. So if you're interested to express your interest, feel free. And I see another question, not a question, but a statement from Florida. A terrific session. Thank you to ISMEA. So that's it's not a question, just a statement. But all the questions we have not answered, we will include in the FAQ document. And I give the word back now to Muriel for the closing.
Yes, it is very effectively the nice words to close this session and for more precisely the question and answer session. So with this, we have reached the conclusion of today's information session about the open invitation and how to join Enterprise Europe Network as an international network partner. I truly hope you found this session helpful. It seems well, and that we have highlighted the mutual benefits for your organization's participation in the network. Europe continues to be an important market for international trade, research, and innovation, a hub for growth-oriented and innovative businesses. By joining the Enterprise Europe Network, you can offer your clients improved access to Europe's vast single market and thriving technology and research ecosystem. Should you still have any question, as Thomas mentioned, or need further information, so don't hesitate to contact us. You can find all our contact details on the official Enterprise Europe Network website. And thank you all for your time and interest today. And we look forward to collaborating with you in the future. So goodbye and see you for sure.
Thank you.
Thank you.